Hello, welcome to this DCS F14B tutorial. In this video, I'll just be covering some general flight tips that'll help you maintain control of the aircraft and some things that'll induce flat spins, potentially how to get out of one, um, and just some general tips and tricks to make your life a little bit easier in the F14. So I'm going to go ahead and take off. Gear up, flaps up. Make sure we do that before our speed gets too high, or else we'll break our flaps. All right, gear light is waiting on that to go out. All right, gear light's out. So I'll go ahead and hit my emergency jettison button, jettison my stores just for this example. Now you're going to notice as you're flying around, I'll get myself an A to A, that as you give it more throttle, it's going to want to pitch up. So you're going to be constantly trimming it down if you don't want to be forcing the stick. So I just trimmed down a bunch to maintain wherever I was pointing it. Now I'm speeding up, so it's pitching up. I'll trim down again, that sort of thing. If I was going into a fight, I generally want to be at a max of about 450, 500. And if I merge with someone, I'm going to, in order to force the wings out, because I'll stay in auto mode, you can manipulate the wings based on your speed, acceleration, and current G's pulled. I'll want those wings to go out, so to manipulate them in auto, I'm going to pitch up to 30 degrees, initiate my turn, and once I'm up at 30 degrees, I'll go full burner, give some left rudder if I'm doing a left turn, pull back on the stick, and you'll see the wings start to extend and go out. And this will allow us to start getting into a more combat-friendly position without ever having to manipulate our wings. You can do a whole lot of maneuvers and manipulation of the wings, all without ever touching the lever or going into manual mode. One thing to note, if you are in a turn and you are not in burner, and then all of a sudden you smack into burner, you have a potential to induce a flat spin. So when you go into burner, be easy about it depending on the angles of your plane. I find that if I am sideways like this, I have a much higher chance to induce a flat spin if I just slam it into burner, depending on the maneuvers. So I'll try and angle myself somewhat like that if I am trying to engage burners in a tight turn of maneuver, especially at slow speeds. The burners don't kick on at exactly the same time. There's like a split second between them, so when you slam it into burner at slow speeds, that torque from one lighting a split second before the other will induce a flat spin, and that's bad news. Once again, so if I was doing a turn, pitch up to about 30, kick some rudder. Don't kick too much or you'll start to lose control and you'll end up flat spinning. We can pull around. Here, with how much I'm pulling, we can see the plane buffeting a bunch, and we can see our AOA indicator is about half. When the plane starts to buffet like this, you want to ride the buffet and not pull through it. If I pull through it, I can stall the plane and induce a flat spin. If you start to induce a flat spin or feel yourself stalling, come out of burner and just pitch down. When you regain control, then you can go into burner, get your speed back up. One of the worst things you can do, I've found personally, is if you start to stall, slam it into burner, and then try to regain control that way, because it has a high probability of inducing the flat spin, especially depending on your angles and maneuvering. So once again, I'm going to ride the buffet, and I'll maintain control. If I pull through the buffet, I'm going to lose control and potentially induce a flat spin. So I'll pull through the buffet here, start to stall. If I slam it into burner, if I didn't give it right rudder to counter the pitch to the left out of lost control and flat spin. I'll go ahead and try and induce a flat spin here and show you potentially how to get out of it. It's kind of a coin toss in my experience. So if I'm in a left-hand flat spin, I'm going to split my throttles, and since I'm going left, I will try and counter it by bringing the right throttle back and only giving left throttle. And I will give rudder into the flat spin and try and pitch my nose down. I'll start rocking up and down, and I'll try and use that oscillation to get my nose down. All right, let's go ahead and try and induce a flat spin. Get the stall speeds. All right, here we go. I'm in a flat spin, or just about to be. Oh, not a flat spin yet. Kick one side throttle, get some rotation in. All right, so I'm in a nice little flat spin here. So I'm going in a left-hand turn, so I'm going to throttle up to the left. I'm going to kick rudder in the direction away from the flat spin and try and rock my nose. Level out, throttle up with the right, and now I am out of the flat spin. So you can utilize that depending on how bad the flat spin is. And depending on your altitude, it just might not be feasible to get out of it. So really watch your maneuvers. Oftentimes, when I was first starting out, I'd go into a merge. I'd try and pull my initial turn, kick burner, and then all of a sudden, because I kicked burner, I induced this instability, and now all of a sudden, if I didn't throttle back and nose down, I was in a flat spin. Just like that. So things to consider. Another tip when you are maneuvering in a fight, if your speed is below 250, or usually when I see this needle below this marker here for 200, at the apex of your turns, you can drop the flaps from the auto to the full down position, and that'll help your turns. You just want to make sure that you put your flaps back up before you hit 250, 260, because you can break them by overspeeding them. They'll be stuck down, and your wings can no longer sweep back. Plus, you'll be adding a whole bunch of instability to the aircraft. It'll start to shake, all that kind of stuff. So I'll demonstrate that here. So I'll go into a turn. Speed's getting at 200. I'll drop my flaps down. And all of a sudden, I can turn so much harder. I can kick it into burner, and then flaps up. And I can do some crazy, crazy sharp turns using that kind of technique. Here I'll demonstrate breaking the flaps. So I'll do that same turn, but I'll leave them down for too long, and you'll see it can't go up, the wings won't be able to retract, and it'll add instability to the aircraft. So I'll go up 30 degrees, do my turn, kick it into burner, pull hard. Watch how hard you pull, because you can induce that flat spin. Speed's low, flaps down. Can do this turn, get real sharp with it, ride the buffeting, don't pull through it. And then if I forgot to put my flaps back up as my speed's increasing, all of a sudden I've now broken my flaps and they will not go back up. I've put them in the up position, but they can't come up. Now this buffeting and this instability, if I let go of the stick, it's going to pull left. That's because the flaps are now broken. If I go F2, you will see that even though I set the flaps to the up position, the flaps are broken, stuck in the down position. So not only do you have to contend with your wings not sweeping, you now have to contend with this instability as you're fighting. So that's a neat trick that you can use to get some extra rate of turn, tighter turn. But you need to be real careful about when you use it and how long you keep your flaps down if you start to accelerate. That covers everything for some basic flying tips. Actually, one more thing. If you fly inverted, I'll try and replicate that now. If you fly inverted for too long, your engines are actually going to become fuel starved and shut off. Wait a few seconds. Could be. This happened. I was experimenting and I had them shut off on me the other day. For some reason, even though I'm inverted, they're not shutting off. There we go. Now they shut off. So if your engine's shut off, just get yourself nose down and then come over to this air start switch and flip it in the up position. With any luck, the air going through your engines is going to help restart them. I'll come out of burner to mill, and hopefully, with enough time, they will start up. If they don't, you're out of luck, but I've had a good experience during my experiment where they turned off. I just pitched down a little bit, air start up, and I just gave it some time, and they came back online. Go, let's start the spool. Nope, no luck. So if your engines do die, you have that option to try. Just pitch down, and with enough speed and enough angle, you can get your engines to start. No luck here, but just try not to go inverted for so long that they shut off. Now that covers everything. Hopefully that helps. Thanks for watching.